Good afternoon. We are in Orlando. In fact, it's a nice little airport. It's called the Orlando Sanford International, and it is spread out like this. I will say it's a nice airport, but it's very spread out. I noticed that when I came in on a different runway that I normally don't use, how long it took me to taxi just to get back to my gate. So here we are in beautiful Orlando. And Orlando International, beautiful airport here. It's not hard to find out what your mean sea level is because you're always between 0 and 50. My name's Steve Good. I am not everybody knows me as Preacher Pilot 737. I'm not a commercial pilot. I am a X-plane enthusiast and a big enthusiast of the 737 and the different models of the 737. So I'm just looking forward to a great flight today, just for us to have some fun, and hopefully you'll pick up on a few nuggets here and there about something maybe you want to learn. And I will try to be expeditious to kind of walk through things, try to be organized. In fact, I even have I have made a checklist that I've got in my hand here, a physical checklist that I'm trying to just to learn how to get it up on the dashboard, and I know it's simple. I kind of overcomplicate things sometimes. But so in the meantime, I have it in front of me, just simply my pre-flight, my before start, before taxi, and it's got just what I need on it. I'm, no time like the present, but if any of y'all that use the forum, the X-Plane forum, it's awesome, and it does come in handy. Let's go there now. Forums at xplane.org. And I'm gonna try to see if the checklist, if they've just got it listed here. So I'm looking for the Zibo 737 checklist, and let's try it. And any of y'all that haven't used this, obviously, if you're watching this video, I'm sure, or if you're part of this today with us, you've been here before. Let's sign in. No, we already are signed in. Okay, so I'll try this. 737 checklist is what we'll search with. I have done the animated copilots. I've tried Linda. I tried another Linda. Not real sure I'm a fan. I had a few issues getting it to work. I followed the guidelines step by step, but I prefer, honestly, I think I prefer Say Intentions over it. For the sake of time, I could sit here and I could look and look, but we'll hold off on that. We don't have to do that right now. We get to the flight. Y'all got better things to do than watch me surf and try to find it. So we'll get on the road, get the show on the road. First thing we're going to do is call up Say Intentions. I have already loaded SimBrief. thinking. There we go. And it does have an Orlando flight. You see where it says pilot here. I'm going to tell my co-pilot, who I have set up as Brian. Brian, you're in charge of all comms.
Got it, Steve. I'll handle the comms from here.
Brian, would you please get our IFR clearance?
Sure thing, Steve.
What I do like about Say Intentions, having the interface, is I have a white dry erase board I have that's near me. Oh, by the way, you'll see where it's fussing at me. It's fussing because my radio's off. We'll fix that. Okay, sorry, Brian. Let's get into craft. So you see where it's fussing now. IRS left and right to nav. That's my fuel pumps. I'll go ahead and get the APU started. Close any guards. And had a brain fart there. Let's get going. APU bleed on. And how do we know that it's working? Our tailpipe is whistling. That's a nice way to pass wind. Your tailpipe's whistling.
Airbus 450 Alpha Bravo holds short of taxiway Alpha, waiting for departing traffic.
There's a little wind because you notice the engines.
Airbus 450 Alpha Bravo. Stationair 1914 Quebec, Sanford ground. Cleared VFR to New Smyrna Beach at or below 2500 feet. Departure on 135.3. Squawk
You see my engines? There's a little wind going.
Mariner Beach, maintain at or below 2,500. Contact departure on 135.3. Squawk 464.
All right. APU bus is rocking. Something else I have to do for this flight. This is we're actually in the Allegiant Air livery today for a scheduled flight. So we're taking some people to Knoxville today. We're taking a group of passengers. So we've got to bring up our this is our Allegiant flight that we're taking. As soon as I know that we have enough fuel loaded already, I will go ahead and activate the flight. Let's go and do it. There we are.
Airbus 450 Alpha Bravo, proceed to the cargo ramp via taxiway Papa, contact ground on 121.9.
Next thing, this is Zibo. All Zibo. These are some Zibo specific things. We're going to go to airside services.
Comanche 8351, Papa Orlando Sanford ground Piper. Orlando ground to open your flight plan to Patrick Air Force Base contact. Clearance delivery on 12 tree.
I did that in the wrong order. Hold on.
For taxi advise ready with information, Mike.
We have to fix that.
3.965. Taxi.
What I did was I come over to the FMS first.
Ground flight deck is disconnected.
Computer.
Starting refueling.
If you notice, I went here first. let's check. And it is still giving me some fuel, so maybe we'll be okay. I'm gonna check. I need to check and double check my numbers for fuel, because this isn't a long flight, and already it's adding more fuel. We'll see. Okay. And for passengers. I had a custom livery that was done by Bravo 737, and I can't brag on it enough. If you need anything from like you want to make a custom livery for your 737, and this is specifically my Zibo 737-800, you need to go to Bravo 737, and you'll find everything you're looking for. Look in the comments, you'll find it there. But they did a bang up job on my custom livery, which is Preacher Pilot, and my Allegiant livery I have to have, because if I don't have this, I don't get credit for the flight. In other words, they won't pay me all of that virtual money that I'll never spend. But you know,
Departure on 135.3.
check our checklist. Our navigation data is entered. Our next thing after passengers.
Cabins, verify arm door, standby for all call.
Okay.
Skylane 527, read back correct.
Is performance numbers.
Strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Got 1,000 for reserves. Load our performance. Takeoff will be 15 flaps. That'll give us a 147. And a cruise altitude of 26,000.
As a reminder, your carry-on luggage must sit securely underneath the seat in front of you or in one of the overhead compartments. If you are having trouble with carry-on luggage,
Brian, please get our IFR clearance now.
for those customers seated in a row seat designated as an exit row, we just please check out the safety information.
I'll get our IFR clearance now.
Read the front of the card. If you're unwilling or unable to
Anti-skid
walk out,
is
they
RTO
will
for
the
reject
flight
takeoff.
yourself. Please notify the flight attendant for
Stanford Ground, Allegiant 509, we'd like to receive our IFR clearance. We have Mike.
I'll
have your clearance in just a second.
Prior to closing the door, we'll advise you when to turn off and stow all large portable electronic devices. You may continue to use your small lightweight devices as long as they are turned and on airplane mode. Please prepare your doors for departure. Cross-check standby for all calls.
Allegiant 509, cleared to Knoxville. Radar vectors worms, then is filed. Climb and maintain 3,000. Expect flight level 26010 minutes after departure. Departure on 119.775 squawk 3362.
Stanford Ground, Allegiant 509, cleared to Knoxville. Radar vectors worms, then is filed. Climb and maintain 3,000. Expect flight level 260 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 119.775 squawk 3362.
Allegiant 509, read back correct.
Embraer 225,
Okay.
Echo Mike, follow the Gulf
Got
Stream, then hold at holding point Tango 1.
We're squawking here. We're going to be squawking.
Holding a Tango 1, Embraer 225, Echo
Boarding
Mike.
has started, Captain Steve. The first passengers are aboard the plane.
Golf Alpha Stanford Ground. Go ahead and pass your message whenever you're
Oh my
ready.
gosh, welcome aboard Allegiant Air Flight 509, everyone. We're so excited to be flying to McGee Tyson today. Please take your seats according to your boarding passes. And don't forget to stow your hand luggage in the overhead bins or under the seats in front of you. Okay? If you need any help, Just holler at one of us crew members. We're here for you. And hey, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @SI_Georgina for all the fun updates. Hiccups!
And meet Georgina. We love Georgina. She is a social influencer, but she's a great flight attendant. We're on the worms today. The worms departure. Worms there. And what I'm doing right now, some pilots out there, you're going to fuss at me, but kind of do it. I will put my heading lined up with my first waypoint, but that's not really how you should do it, and I probably need to do it the correct way for everyone. You know that nothing I'm telling you is gospel, and I'm not giving you instruction. I'm giving you maybe helping you get started on X-plane, but we're having fun. Don't go out and try to fly real stuff with what I tell you, because I am not a pilot.
Breathe normally. Even though oxygen is flowing, the plastic bag may not deflate. Always put your own mask on first, and then help others near you. A life vest is located under the seat or between seats. The safety instruction card shows the exact location. To use the vest, open the cover by pulling the red tab or compartment handle to break the seal. Remove the vest from the package like
Honestly, since it's more policy or more the SOP, we're going to line our heading up with the runway.
Skylane 9er 4527 Orlando Sanford ground taxi to Millionaire Orlando FBO via Lima
You also
Alpha.
do that if something were to happen on takeoff. You really want you don't want any deviations that are going to create like more layers for you to have to work through, and that's why it's best to put your line your heading up with the runway you're taking off on. Does that make sense? That's kind of more of a common sense thing. Yeah, really is common sense. For takeoff, some other items that we're on our checklist here. Ensure that flaps are set for takeoff. So I've got my flaps at 15. VR, everything V2 and VR, everything's already set. We're good there. Brian, please get push and start clearance.
Requesting pushback and engine start clearance now.
Stanford ground, Allegiant 509, requesting clearance for pushback and engine start.
Allegiant 509, pushback and engine start approved, tail west.
What I'm about to show you is cheating. But this comes useful. First thing you do is you go to your shift 5. Right, but if you notice you're in the tower and you don't have a lot of movement, so you hit C to free up your camera, break free, especially on a runway this big. If you look here, you got your 2 ends there. If you just want to verify, and you're going to verify this again too when you start.
Comanche 5-1 Papa, read back, correct?
And there's 27 right. That is where we're taking off from. There we are, right here. All right. So that's a nifty little cheat that you couldn't do in the real world, but why not use it? Right. Let's get set for pushback.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
There you are. Hey man, how you doing? Man, you're fast today. I don't know if it's a bug in X-Plane, but there are times if I use the internal X-Plane pushback that it will just keep going and not stop. It's like you may tell it left, right, but it just like keeps going. So I do like the better pushback plug-in, and there's really nothing better out there. Now, one thing I did have a little snafu on my plug-in. You notice normally I have some choices over to the left. You probably have some on yours.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
And I have reloaded it twice and they just don't show up over here. So there's probably some setting I have. Someone knows what it is. I would love to hear it. It's probably something common sense that I just didn't do. Totally common sense.
Embraer 225 Echo, might hold short of taxiway Golf, traffic crossing ahead.
Holding short of taxiway Golf, Embraer 225 Echo Mike. Comanche 5-1 Papa, to close your flight
So
plan.
connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Let's first fire them up. By the way, this flight should not be a terribly long flight. Uh, 448 miles. It's about hour and a half ish. Looks like we're getting a cloud cover, and we are. Oh, if I haven't started it yet, I think I do have active sky. So our sky settings are our clouds are active sky XP, and I love it. Really do. I really do. I like it a lot. Check our sky out. Wow. So we do have a cloud cover. Active Sky XP, I just bought it, I think from Aerosoft. Just purchased it at the recommendation of the Q8 YouTube channel. If y'all want a good channel too, that's Q8. Awesome. They do a great job. Okay. Heat left, heat right, probes, hydraulic pumps, packs on auto, engine buses on, lead off, taxi lights on, wheel lights on, wing on, anti-collision, strobe on, yaw damper on.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
And engines both to continuous. I ask him, he's doing what I say. So good job, better pushback. Sanford's a big airport. It's so spread out. I don't know how busy it is. I presume pretty busy.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
This is the kind of place that you get depressed just leaving. Georgiana, can I have a cup of coffee before I taxi?
Oh, Captain Steve, I can totally get you that coffee. Just a sec, okay? Hey, everyone. Just a quick reminder to stow your bags and take your seats. We're so excited to get going on this flight to McGee Tyson. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at SI_Georgina for all the fun updates.
Seatbelt light
disconnected and bypassed and has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Your other right.
Go ahead. Stanford ground, November 60 Golf Alpha, requesting south departure. Stanford Tower, Stanford ground.
Love and prayers go to all the families in DCA. It's still surreal. It's been 1 week. And they have found and recovered all the bodies. Bye, guy. Be good. Brian, get taxi clearance.
I'll request taxi clearance now.
Is it just me, or sometimes he's a little slow? Brian, I got grass growing under my feet. Talk to somebody. Brian, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and get our taxi clearance.
I'll get our taxi clearance now.
Was that nice to him? I don't want to take him off. He does a good job.
Stanford Ground,
most of the
Allegiant
time.
509, ready to taxi. Holding information November.
Allegiant 509, taxi to runway 27 right via Charlie Romeo, cross runway 27 center, then Bravo, cross runway 18, then Bravo 10.
Runway 27 right, Charlie Romeo, cross 27 center, then Bravo, cross 18, then Bravo 10, Allegiant 509.
Gulfstream 671 Golf Sierra holds short of taxiway Echo traffic on final approach.
These
Holding short of
taxiways
Echo
are so
671 Golf Sierra.
nicely paved that they look like they're runways. It's
Oh
like,
my gosh. Welcome aboard Allegiant Air Flight 509 to McGee Tyson. We're so excited to have you all on board. I'm Georgina, your lead flight attendant. And we also have Captain Steve Good and First Officer Brian Song with us today. Joining me in the cabin are my awesome crew members, Jake, Emily, Sarah, and Mike. Our expected flight time is about 1 hour and 26 minutes, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Now, let's talk safety, eh? Please fasten your seatbelts by inserting the metal tip into the buckle until you hear a click. To release, just lift the buckle. Easy peasy, right? In case of an emergency, oxygen masks will drop down from above. Pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Place it over your nose and mouth and secure it with the elastic band. Don't forget to secure your own mask before helping others.
they got a little carried away over there with the airplanes.
We have 8 emergency exits on this Boeing 737. 800. 2 at the front, 2 over the wings, and 2 at the back. Just follow the illuminated signs to find your nearest exit. And remember, it might be behind you. Oh, and we have life vests under your seats. To use them, pull them out, slip them over your head, and inflate by pulling the red tabs. If you need to inflate it manually, just blow into the tube. But don't forget to do it outside the plane, okay? And hey, if you're enjoying the flight, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @SI_Georgina for all the fun updates and maybe a selfie.
I think they got it, Georgina.
All right, that's it for the safety briefing. Captain Steve, the cabin is ready for departure.
Thank you, Georgina. You are amazing.
Oh my gosh, Captain Steve, you're just the sweetest. I mean, like, who wouldn't think you're amazing, right? Hiccups. Thanks for being so cool.
I'll get a little shudder here in a second. You ready? Brian, we're ready for takeoff clearance.
I'll get our takeoff clearance now.
Do our last checks.
Skylane 422 Alpha Mike, extend downwind spacing for arriving traffic. Extending downwind Skylane 422 Alpha Mike.
Stanford Tower, Allegiant 509, holding short of runway 27 right. We are ready for departure.
Allegiant 509, Stanford Tower, runway 27 right, winds 180 at 7. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 27 right, runway heading, cleared for takeoff. Allegiant 509.
Right. You heard him. Let's go. Oh, it's a pretty time of the day. We're going to do a rolling start. Normally I don't do it, but we're going to do it for this one. We're good. Everything's set. see the windsock there.
E1 rotating. Positive rate.
Gear up.
$400. $1,000.
Flaps to 5.
Legion 509, contact departure on 119.775.
Switching to departure on 119.775, Allegiant 509.
And flaps retracted.
Orlando departure, Allegiant 509 afternoon, climbing past 1,000.
Allegiant 509, Orlando departure, not seeing you on radar. Double check 3362, ident again.
Air Canada 763, reduce speed to 200 knots, contact tower on 118.7.
200 knots, switching to 118.7, Air Canada 763.
Departure 81956, Orlando departure, roger. Execute missed approach, give me 1 second. Allegiant 509, Orlando departure, radar contact, 5 west of Sanford at 2900 feet, heading 302, Orlando altimeter 30.11, cleared direct worms, climb and maintain flight level 200.
Climb and maintain flight level 200, Allegiant 509.
About to go dark here in a second. Not dark, but our visuals kind of gonna go just like it did. See? Come down. Okay. We had a feline on one of my laptops. They're crisis averted. Doesn't help that he's 17 pounds. Ooh, got some.
Allegiant 509, climb and maintain flight level 260.
Climb and maintain flight level 260, Allegiant 509.
I think the only thing about X-Plane is some of the artifacts. Sometimes you see that is X-Plane. That's not active sky. That those artifacts are coming from X-Plane. Landing lights off. Wheel lights off.
Dear guests, oh my gosh, I have some super exciting news. You can now use your electronic devices. Just make sure they're on airplane mode. Like, if you want to share your flight experience, don't forget to tag me on Instagram at SI_Georgina. Oh my gosh, everyone. We have just reached cruising altitude. Yay! So, now it's time for the snack and drink service. Super exciting, right? We have these amazing pretzel bites and some delicious cookies that you just have to try. After we finish serving snacks, I'll be coming around with some cool stuff from the Allegiant Air Shop. So stay tuned for that. And, don't forget to
Legion 509, contact Daytona departure on 134.0.
pickups.
Switching to Daytona departure on 134.0, Allegiant 509.
All right. Geared off. Anti-skid to.
Allegiant 509.
I'm leaving it on 2.
Climbing past 11,000
That would be
for
for
flight level 260.
our landing, but may as well
Allegiant 509,
let
Daytona
it stay
departure.
there.
Good afternoon, deal into altimeter 30.11.
And since we're already well on our way, we can let's bring up Navigraph. I know taking away from the effect a little bit here, but we'll get over it. Shout out to Simbrief. I love Simbrief.
Climbing to 4,000, switching to 135.646, Lima, Quebec.
Archer 81956, Jacksonville Center. Good afternoon, altimeter 30.15. 3015, Archer 956. Approach Archer 81956.
Right, we know 2-3 left is what we're coming in on.
For the ILS 7 approach, Daytona.
So 2-3
Archer
left.
956.
So let's do our arrival. ILS 2-3 left. Transition's Goodall. Of course, the pilot's good. Goodall. And our net, now we go to a net reference, and after we put in our arrival, we now know all of this information from FMS. So we're at 110.75 is our frequency. $110.75. So our ILS frequency is already entered. It looks like right now this will change and these numbers will change, but we're probably going to do a flaps 40 on our landing. If we were to land now, we're 145 is our landing speed.
Allegiant 509, Daytona departure, contact Jacksonville Center on 127.475.
We'll change that.
Contacting Jacksonville Center on 127.475, Allegiant 509.
And looks like our last waypoint is right at 2800.
Allegiant 509.
We'll verify this on our
16,000 feet.
Navigraph charts.
Allegiant 509, Jacksonville Center. Good afternoon, Pearson. Altimeter 30.11.
And let's look at our descent information. So coming into McGee-Tyson in Knoxville, let's open that airport and let's look at what our altimeter is there. Is 2998.
Virgin 875, reduce speed to 220 knots for sequencing.
Reducing to 220 knots, Virgin 875.
So we're going to do a 29.98 and request our descent winds.
Are we supposed to be on this frequency? Comanche 94 Papa.
Let's load that. Okay. And we're 340 nautical miles from the top of descent, but we'll actually begin our descent a hair sooner. Take a look at where we are. So here we're coming out of Orlando, kind of a straight shot all the way to Knoxville, and let's look at our landing runway, Knoxville. Open airport, charts, approach. Take a look at it. By the way, I had. Did you hear the engines were doing a little something that wasn't right? Well, it's because I think I had my throttle partially engaged and it wasn't in the neutral position, and I have that happen, like you'll hear it try to go up and then go back down, but we're all good now. What's our elevation? Is 986, and airport elevation. The thing about that, that's not any different than Greensboro, North Carolina, which is about 900 elevation. Okay. Clouds look really good. Active Sky XP, I love it. It looks really good. Okay, that was weird. Did you see that? The glitch? Something. Did we just come out of the clouds? Maybe we did. Yeah, we're kind of in a little bit of a mist now. Can't explain that. I'll show you what I'm looking at here. So this is our map. Here we are. Right here. And if you look, I can point at the locations along the way, like estimated time, 19 minutes to get there, and I can pull weather information like wind. I can get my winds, my visibility. It's all there. Cool.
Lufthansa 421, heavy climb and maintain flight level 370.
Climbing to flight level 370, Lufthansa 421 heavy.
Y'all let me know if that's too much information, but I thought it's kind of nice to know what's going on. Looks like we're hugging the eastern coastline right now.
How's it go?
Alright, we're at cruise altitude. I'm going to give the passengers just a little bit of free time. Go to off there.
Legend, once you tell me like taking seatbelt signs off, you're free to move about. Please remember a while, please keep the seatbelt fastened. We'll update you once you start our descent. Come back, we're not going to fly with you.
Right, my next task is we are reducing our altitude here to 2,800, and that's where it will stay for the remainder of the flight.
723 Foxtrot Lima, remain at or below 5,000.
Unless we get a really step down descension. I hope not, because usually when you're using, say, intentions or something, it's stepping it down based on what's in your flight plan. But if you're on, all this doesn't apply if you're flying on the VATSIM completely. None of it applies, because you can run into all kinds of scenarios or situations. So maybe I like using say intentions because it's a little more predictable. And it works. It's good. It's really good. Heads-up display only on the Zibo. Well, on the 737s. Some 737s. I thought at first it was just a Zibo novelty, until I realized it is on a lot of 737s have it, and it is. I love it. It gives me all the information I need to keep up with what's going on, and I don't have to keep looking, like when I'm up here, I don't have to keep looking down here. Never use it to land, as a rule. I don't, but it's nice. Takeoff, I've used it on takeoff. Yeah, I feel comfortable. Yeah, I do. Georgina, what snacks do you have?
Oh my gosh, Captain Steve!
Georgie.
Hey everyone, just a reminder that we have some amazing snacks available. We've got pretzel bites and cookies, so if you're feeling snacky, just let us know. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at SI_Georgina for all the fun updates. Hiccups?
Georgina.
Oh my gosh, Captain. You called me Georgie. That's like so cute. Hiccups. What can I do for you?
I want you to tell me a joke.
Oh my gosh, Captain Steve, you called me Georgina. That's so cute. What can I do for you?
I want you to tell me a
Oh
joke.
my gosh, Captain Steve, here's a joke for you. Why did the influencer bring a ladder on the plane? Because they wanted to reach new heights in their career. Hiccups. Get it?
Tell me another
Oh my
joke.
gosh. Captain Steve, here's a joke for you. Why did the influencer get kicked off the plane? Because they kept trying to take selfies with the emergency exits. Hiccups. Get it? Oh my gosh, Captain Steve, here's another one for you. Why did the influencer get kicked off the flight? Because they kept trying to take selfies in the emergency exit row. Hiccups. Get it?
Georgina, what's 2 plus 2?
Oh my gosh, Captain Steve, that's like super easy. It's 22. Hiccups.
Georgina, are there any good-looking passengers?
Oh my gosh, Captain Steve, there are definitely some good-looking passengers. Like, I can't even hiccups. It's like a runway show in here.
That's good. Runway show.
Oh my gosh, Captain Steve, right? It's like a runway show in here. Hiccups, I can't even... Hey everyone, just a quick reminder to keep your seatbelts fastened, okay? We're cruising at 26,000 feet, which is like super high. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at SI_Georgina for all the fun updates. Hiccups!
That's really a cool shot. That's from quite a distance. Where am I? In a field?
Continue climb to flight level 290. Continuing climb to flight level 290, Southwest 280.
See what it looks like our approach going in. So we'll be coming in for 23 left. So Goodall, followed by RKYTP right here. All right, so RKYTP. KTYP/2800. I'm putting this in our descent information, and it will help me to track our descent and our feet per minute descent, which will help. We're at 239 nautical miles from the top of descent, but we'll be going down probably about 50 miles before that. Let me know if that's TMI, but here we are. What I'm going to get dinged for so far on this flight is I did not have the landing lights on at takeoff. So we'll see if I get dinged for that. Although I did turn them on after we were in flight, and they could stay on up until around 10,000, and then they have to go back off. I did have it then, so they were on the majority of the time we were between the ground and 10,000. Between the ground and 10,000 is sterile cockpit. There is no discussing nothings. And you know where that came from? You know, some trivia? And I may have some of my years mixed up, but I think it's around 73 or 74. There was a flight coming into Charlotte, and it was not a long flight. It was a 707, and it was flying from Spartanburg to Charlotte. So you know that's not long at all. It's just a quick jump, but it was quite a large plane for it. But there was a lot of people on the plane, and at below 10,000. The pilots both got distracted because they were just talking about anything but landing and in preparation to land, and they crashed in Charlotte. In Charlotte City, and there were a number of fatalities. One pilot survived, the other pilot died in the crash. But what it revealed was a weakness in their policy. So, because of that incident, the NTSB mandated sterile cockpit, so that between the ground and 10,000 feet, you're not supposed to talk about anything else but the job at hand. Briefing, everything you need to do to keep that plane in the air and to safely come down and go up. So, yep, that's what North Carolina. A lot of people don't know it. I didn't know it until a year or 2 years ago. I really had not kept up with it.
Contact Jacksonville Center on 127.575.
Switching to Jacksonville Center on 127.575. Allegiant 509.
I do recommend watching the YouTube documentary on that. Just look for the Charlotte plane crash in the 70s. Not the more recent one, which...
Jacksonville Center, Allegiant 509, evening, maintaining flight level 260. Allegiant 509, Jacksonville Center, good evening.
762 Alpha Bravo, maintain VFR below 7,000. Maintain VFR below 7,000, 762 Alpha Bravo.
That's not a bad looking plane. Right. our steps for descent. Well, let's go to it. Let y'all see them. We have our landing altitude in place, our altimeter VREF, yes, radio bearing minimums, navigation radio, and auto brake all done. I'm going to go down and look at. So that is top of descent. We're 203 nautical miles from top of descent, but we'll be coming down a little bit sooner. I noticed that once we get down to our approach altitudes, it's going to happen pretty fast. Things are going to move fast. In fact, let me show you. So here we are. So we're going to descend, and there's ODF. It looks like, if I understand this correctly, it says there's Goodall, and then it takes us straight to RYKTP, and then straight to the runway. If we need it, we can add Zorded and Tabuk if we need more time. If we don't descend quick enough, or we need some more time to get stable, we can always use that, like the Zorded, and get slowed down. Technically, I could add Zorded as part of the setup. So there's Zorded here. I could come in to Zorded to get turned around for Goodall, and it'll help us to be better lined up for. But we'll see. And our flight plan's already, our IFR is already in, so we can get ourselves in trouble. Go to virtual jail. Yeah, that's right. We are 261 miles. Fast. How are we looking? I was watching another documentary today, and this was about a plane, may have been in Colorado, and the pilots got distracted with their computers in the cockpit. You know, by the way, already, if you're a pilot, you know what's wrong with that. It's strictly forbidden to have electronics in the cockpit. But they are just chatting, talking about things that have to do with their new schedule, what their you know, that they don't like it. And in the course of all that chatting, you have the controller trying to reach them, can't reach them. The controller gets a hold of their airline, they still can't reach them. They could not be reached for more than 40 minutes. Distracted. In the meantime, even the White House was notified that there was a plane in the air that could not be reached, a commercial airliner with 149 passengers. Began to create a national incident, in so many words. So they can't reach them. When finally the pilots call in, because they've been trying to reach them by text, everything, they said that all they would say was we were distracted, and when they asked them, can you be more specific, they wouldn't elaborate, so they didn't know if they weren't being held hostage in the cockpit. Well, the controller had them perform several maneuvers to prove that they had control of the plane. and so, you know, it's sad, but that's why I think one of those pilots had 10,000 hours. The other pilot had 18,000 hours. And both of them had their licenses revoked, so they could not fly. I mean, think about that's all they know. But they both lost their license, all because of what? Because they were distracted, and that could have been dangerous. They overflew the runway. No, they overflew the airport by 100 miles before they realized what was going on, literally. So, you know, doesn't matter. He can be the most experienced pilot in the world and get distracted, I guess.
Sierra Mike traffic alert, 12 o'clock, 4 miles opposite direction. Traffic in sight, there is 555 Sierra Mike.
Let's check our altitude. We're 158 nautical miles from top of descent.
Allegiant 509, Jacksonville Center, contact Atlanta Center on 127.95. Switching to Atlanta Center on 127.95. Allegiant 509. Atlanta Center, Allegiant 509 evening, maintaining flight level 260.
Allegiant 509, Atlanta Center, good evening.
I know that Active Sky downloads the weather conditions, and I'm wondering if that's what we're seeing.
Allegiant 509, Atlanta Center, expect the ILS runway 23 left approach into Knoxville. In about 15 minutes, I'll start your descent.
Expecting the ILS runway 23 left approach into Knoxville. Allegiant 509.
Got it. Okay. So I don't know if there's a delay, Active Sky downloading the sky, if there is that lag, a little bit of a lag. That looks amazing now. Maybe not complaining because of the graphic. I mean, it looks good. Looks good. Still like my head's up. There we go. somebody was asking what's in front of me, and I have the actual cockpit MSD here, so I've got I can change my course, my heading, my altitude from what is a 737 cockpit. So that's what you see here. Love having it in front of me. My auto, it's basically it's just straight from the plane, what it looks like in the plane. I have a radio, so I've got my radio here. So a radio here. I still don't have to adjust the radio because Brian, my co-pilot, he does that automatically. It's kind of cool watching the numbers change on it. He's adjusting it. Georgina, we're going to be descending in about 10 minutes.
Okay, Captain Steve. Thanks for the heads up. Oh my gosh, everyone. Just a quick heads up that we're going to start our descent in about 10 minutes. So please make sure your seatbelts are fastened and your seat backs are in the upright position. We're so excited to be landing soon. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at SI_Georgina for all the fun updates. Hiccups.
One.
Where we are, you are here. So we'll begin descent about right here. That will take us straight to our transition point where we're going to make our turns. We're not far. We'll pass right by Atlanta, like Hartsfield, it looks like. I say right by it. Hartsfield is going to be out to our left. I don't think we could see it even if the clouds weren't there. That's a ways off. Okay. We've already done our checklist. We know that we are set. Our frequency is set. We're squawking right. Earlier I missed a digit on the squawk, and that's what they were getting me to check my transponder when they say recycle or reboot. Basically all I have to do is change the numbers. He will have us descending, I think, before we actually get the descent now message on the flight management computer. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if it comes up. I'm curious if it'll pop up. Check our legs right now. The Goodall's our Goodall is our arrival. The Goodall arrival. The Goodall arrival. Good old boys arrival. Whatever. Got a good puffy surface here. Let me see. Take a look at it. Wow. How we looking? Yeah. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? I don't know what the weather's like below these clouds. I can check. Let's see. Winds are from 210 to 16 knots. That's not awful. Altimeter's 2997. I need to double check that. All right. Arrival altimeter is 2997. Okay, got it. No.
Alpha Bravo Squawk 5260 is in. Squawk 5260 and ident Bonanza 632 Alpha Bravo. Just got out of the commercial break time. This is we're just waiting for the word. I could begin the descent a little bit earlier, but I was just going to try to stick to the script. If you look down here, our legs have us on the Goodall. That takes us down to 3,500 feet for 79 miles, and ODF still has us at 26. So we have we got I think 79 miles to descend
3500 on a VNAV steady descent might be okay. You know how to do the math. So I'm not going to start early unless I just get nervous. I don't see any reason to be nervous right now. The last thing you want is a nervous pilot, I guess.
Expect direct waypoint Tango India Mike in 5 minutes. Expecting direct Tango India Mike in 5 Spirit 792.
Maintain speed 28009, American 1096.
Northwest 7007 maintaining flight level 380.
Northwest 7007 Atlanta Center, good evening.
Hey, it's Steve Hood. I'm at 336-254-3985. I missed your call. Here.
Alpha Bravo Squawk 5260 again.
Squawk 5260 and ident Bonanza 632 Alpha Bravo.
United 1812, Atlanta Center. Good evening.
Allegiant 509, whenever you'd like, descend and maintain flight level 180.
Descend and maintain flight level 180, Allegiant 509.
Captain Steve, we're all set for the descent. Thanks for the heads up. You're the best.
Okay. To understand the descent path, we just started our descent what would be earlier than we anticipated. It says actually we're still 99 nautical miles from, well, we were from top of the, from our top of the, well, I'm sorry, not 99. We weren't at top of descent quite yet. So on the vertical deviation on the left, it's going to continue to increase because we're descending sooner, but it will eventually catch up. We'll get to a waypoint and you'll see that it pauses on the waypoints, but it will eventually, and now I'm not sure if that'll completely happen here, because if you see here, ODF, we're still at 260, but Goodall takes us all the way down to 3,500, so we could technically get there a little bit early, but usually it pauses and it paces itself to get down when it's supposed to.
709, clear direct to waypoint Bravo Romeo India. Clear direct to Bravo
So we'll keep
Romeo
monitoring
India,
that.
Alaska 709.
I think there's this big misconception, and this, once again, there's a lot that I don't know. Boy, there's so much I don't know. But that because a plane has autopilot and all these automatic settings, that the pilot's not actually flying the plane. And I don't think it could be further from the truth. The pilot's responsible for everything that's going on in that plane. So even when there's an automated there's something automated going on, whether it be the descent, the speed, all of that, it still is the pilot's responsibility, and he should be monitoring it every second. It doesn't mean he can sit there with his slippers on and his lazy boy chair. He's still got to monitor everything every step of the way, and plan. He needs to take that time, use that time to plan. So that's, I call that a Goodism as we descend to the Goodall waypoint, but that's just some common sense information. Get a look at where we are. Should be in pretty good shape here. Okay. Shout out to Navigraph chart. Woo-woo. Sim Brief, Navigraph, all together. They're married. So we're going to be doing basically a very straight descent. It should take us all the way to Goodall, and we get to Goodall, we'll be hanging a left, and we will have the RKYTP waypoint, what, not second, RKYTP, yeah, waypoint to line up, so that those waypoints will help us get lined up for the runway. Look that a little bit closer. See that's really straight. It's kind of, yeah, it's rather straight. Right here. See. But when we come in, I just thought that would be nice to be able to actually use this to get kind of slowed down, if we're already slowed down, but to get situated so that we're straight, but we'll see.
Flight level 40 Delta 1562.
Now, according to this, we're going straight for the from 349 heading to 231 heading, and that's what we'll be on all the way to the runway. Just making sure my headings are all lined up. I was bad. I didn't have the bugs. I didn't have the bug lined up most of this flight. We've already reverted back to off standard for our altimeter, so at 29.97. QNH.
Allegiant 509, descend and maintain 11,000. Altimeter 29.907.
Got you.
Descend and maintain 11,000. Altimeter 29.907. Allegiant 509.
Allegiant 509, descend and maintain 3500.
Descend and maintain 3,500. Allegiant 509.
Clear direct to Delta Alpha November 4. Clear direct to Delta Alpha November VR Delta 401.
Okay, we're at 170. I will engage landing lights under 10,000. Frequencies for ILS are set. We will be going to a full 40 flaps.
Allegiant 509, contact Knoxville departure on 118.0.
Contacting Knoxville departure on 118.0. Allegiant 509. Knoxville departure, Allegiant 509, evening, descending through 16,000 feet down to 3500.
Allegiant 509, Knoxville departure. Good evening, Knoxville, altimeter 29.907.
Got it. 2997.
Allegiant 509, Knoxville departure. Contact Asheville departure on 134.8.
Navy on 553 Alpha Bravo, maintain 3,500 traffic at your tree at Bonanza, same altitude.
3,500 traffic in sight 553 Alpha Bravo.
It's getting bumpy.
Contacting Asheville departure, Allegiant 509, evening, descending through 4,000 feet for 3500.
Allegiant 509, Asheville departure, good evening, Knoxville, altimeter 29.907.
Alright, we're doing, I think we're right at the right pace for descent. When we come under 10,000 is when we need to cut back our speed, and I'm going to see if VNAV's going to really do it right. Just got to follow protocol.
Allegiant 509, Asheville departure, turn right heading 360 vectors for the ILS runway 23 left approach.
Right heading 360, vectors for the ILS runway 23 left approach. Allegiant 509.
Lately, I'm kind of nervous when they want to give us vectors, but you know, say intentions most of the time. I think it still does a good job. There's been a couple of times I'm like, dude, come on. Had me in a bad spot. It just would have been easier for me to let LNAV take its course. I know that's not always practical because you have traffic distancing, so ATS has their own reasons, but
climbing to 5,500, 582 Bravo.
Allegiant 509, contact Knoxville departure on 134.075.
Contacting Knoxville departure on 134.075. Allegiant 509.
Alright, I do like what they've done to put us on a heading of 360 because we were going straight toward Goodall. Now we're it's taking us
departure, Allegiant
straight
509,
up.
evening, descending through 2,000 feet down to 5,000.
Allegiant 509, Knoxville departure, good evening, Knoxville, altimeter 29.907.
Anyway, it makes it easier if we come this way and then we have more time to make the left turn to get set up for Goodall and into the airport. I like that better. I'm assuming that's their reasoning. Thank you, dear. We've gone to flaps 1. Flaps 1.
Allegiant 509, Knoxville departure, turn left heading 340.
Cessna 172 Alpha Bravo, turn right heading 150, descend to 2,500, report airport in sight.
Flight 150, descending to 2,500, will report to airport 172 Alpha Bravo. Left heading 340, Allegiant 509.
Good job. Good job. We're at flaps 5. Coming out of the clouds. Yay!
Allegiant 509, proceed direct Goodell, descend and maintain 3500 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 23 left approach.
Direct Goodell. Descend and maintain 3,500 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 23 left approach. Allegiant 509.
Diamond Tree 29er Sierra Tango, reduced to 100 knots. Your number 2 following a Cessna.
Going to 100 knots, number 2 behind the Cessna Tree 29er Sierra Tango.
We're headed back to Galveston to the ports. Visual 28 approach, J4 Juliet. Atlanta Center, we're headed to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, up Kilo Golf, Kilo Tango, visual 28 approach, J4 Juliet. Thank you, Atlanta, contacting Knoxville 132.8, J4 Juliet.
This is where I can't see jack squat. Okay, and we're going to be getting to 231. A heading of 231. Looking good. Looking good. flaps are at 15.
Legion 509, contact Knoxville Tower on 121.2.
Bonanza 46 Lima, Quebec, climb to 4,000, contact approach on 135.6.
Climbing to 4,000, switching to 135.646 Lima, Quebec.
Man, that feels smooth. Good job.
Knoxville Tower, Allegiant 509 evening. We're established on the ILS for runway 23 left approach.
Allegiant 509, Knoxville Tower, winds 210 at 16. Runway 23 left, cleared to land.
Cleared to land, runway 23 left. Allegiant 509.
Flight transfer to landing, please.
That's beautiful. Pigeon Forge, beautiful place. Right, last thing we'll do. Our spoilers are armed. Flaps are at 25.
Thousand feet, stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude 7.
Wow, it's beautiful.
$500. $400.
All right, we're ready. Bring it down soft. Just bring it down soft.
300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
433, Mike Whiskey, contact ground on frequency 121.6.
November 4, Mike Whiskey.
Legion 509, welcome to Knoxville. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Okay, switching to ground on 121.9er. Allegiant 509.
We'll be taxiing for the next few minutes, so please remain seated with
That felt really good.
Knoxville ground, Allegiant 509.
Good landing.
We're clear of runway 23 left
Good
and
job.
ready to taxi to the gate.
Allegiant 509, Knoxville ground. Taxi to gate 14 via Alpha 3, Alpha, Romeo 2. Have a good day.
Gate 14 via Alpha 3, Alpha, Romeo 2, Allegiant 509.
Oh my gosh, everyone. We've just landed at McGee Tyson Airport. Yay. That landing was like totally smooth, right? Captain Steve is just the best. Hiccups. So welcome to
Finally,
Knoxville,
I
which
got a
is
compliment.
Like in Canada or something, I think. Anyway, the weather here is like 19 kilograms with a few clouds, so it's like totally nice out. Fun fact, Knoxville is known for its super cool sun sphere, which is like a giant disco ball in the sky or something. And they have this amazing zoo with like animals and stuff. Please stay seated with your seatbelts fastened until we reach our final parking position, okay? And like, thanks so much for flying with Allegiant Air today. On behalf of Captain Steve Good, First Officer Brian Song, and our awesome crew, Jake, Emily, Sarah, and Mike, we hope you had a blast. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at @SI_Georgina for all the fun updates, and maybe a selfie or two. Thanks for staying until the end. You're all amazing. Hiccups.
Welcome to Knoxville. Beautiful place here.
King Air 145 Kilo Alpha taxi to holding point Bravo 2 via taxiway Alpha.
Taxiing to holding point Bravo 2 via Alpha King Air 145 Kilo Alpha.
Wow, just beautiful, beautiful.
Prepare for arrival and cross check, thank you.
All right, if y'all are ready, we'll go back and look at a couple of replays of the landing. We're on the replay now. We'd like to see how it looks. Back. Angle. And spoilers shouldn't go down on their own. Let's see. Just watching them retract or go down.
Echo Mike, follow the Falcon, then continue to gate Charlie Tree.
All right, that was
To gate Charlie Tree.
interesting.
225 Echo Mike.
All right, so we arrived safely at Knoxville for some mountain fun, and I'll see y'all on the next flight.